respecting the diverse women's experiences, their knowledges, their identities, strength, and to empower all women, and that is all women, realising their full rights. This, as feminism, is not just exclusively just for women only. Men are included too. And we should be able to achieve all parts of our equality to ensure everybody has the same respect that should be shown right across. It should be including challenging gender stereotypes, addressing discrimination, and advocating for social and political change. We need to educate. In GMB, we all need to stand together, leading the way with our union, showing what this union means to all, not leaving anybody out. Nobody should be excluded. Nobody. Please support this motion. I second. Thank you.
Well done, Melanie. Thank you. And mover of motion 255.
It's there, Barbara. President Congress, Dave Levy, London Region, moving motion 255, higher education, knowledge and funding. We heard this morning from the Chancellor, Labour's revised plans on expenditure and its industrial strategy-led plans for growth. To me, one of the highlights of that speech was the belated recognition that growth will only help if people feel it in their pockets or bank accounts. While GDP growth is the central policy objective of this government, we believe there are several problems with their approach. The first is it would seem the purpose of growth is to reduce the national debt, not increase people's incomes. Japan is borrowing 294% of its GDP. We are borrowing 98%. I'm not quite sure where the money shortfall is. The national debt isn't the problem the government seems to think it is, and certainly voters don't think so. By observing last year's US presidential election results, we can be assured that both US and UK voters are more concerned with the cost of living costs than even jobs, let alone the national debt. The government's growth strategy, its industrial policy, is based on classic innovation and start-up incubation, and we need to ask whether it's good enough. It hasn't been before. Even the government's industrial policy document identifies innovation adoption as an inhibitor to growth. And as to private partnerships, the so-called investment crowding in. Investment in the UK has usually been from retained profits and not the capital markets. London's capital markets are not patriotic, and I don't see what's changed. One of the missing dimensions in the growth strategy, though, is education. Human capital is a key driver for growth. They should not be hobbling regulators, weakening consumer protection, and the enforcement of employee and privacy rights. There is a need for a vibrant and contributing university sector. Today, the UK has that, but that is facing a financial crisis, and Brexit and the hostile environment have reduced the attractiveness of the UK as a place for foreigners to want to work and live. The central truth is the government is looking to invest in and grow the economy, then it must invest in the university sector, which this motion asks appeals to occur. I'd ask you to listen to the CEC reply. They focus on the introduction of tuition fees and loans by New Labour and their then student Praetorian, many of whom today are in the Cabinet. And while relevant, it's not central to the arguments. I'm particularly unimpressed with the phrase, "It is difficult to see the current Labour government being persuaded to reverse long-standing policy." Can you imagine Congress's, our response, or that of our founders, should that have been said about a Tory government or a Victorian management? It's even more offensive when applied to our party, who should be accountable to our needs and demands. They also suggest that GMB policy of free higher education for all is difficult, if not impossible. I don't agree, but maybe our branch should be more careful with the words we used. And before people say it's not a trade union issue, firstly, macroeconomics is, and my branch organises both blue-collar and black-gown staff in the universities, and we heard earlier in the week about the rapid casualisation of academic staff. I wish we could do more. The question I ask is, what are the CEC waiting for? The country's growth strategy needs a secure, resilient university sector, earning foreign exchange and establishing long-term goodwill with the peoples of other countries. The CEC have asked us to refer. We asked them to change it to support with qualification, which they didn't. So we agree to refer, but we've learned to read the spreadsheets and we'll be tracking action against this motion. Some may say this is overly critical of the Labour government, but advising friends of their mistakes is not an act of aggression. I fear that unless the government changes course in a number of areas, and this being one of them, Keir Starmer's name will go down in history in the consecutive, I've got 4 words left, in the consecutive footnote to Papandreou's PASOK. Let's adopt this policy, or let's refer this policy, a campaign for policy change, and build the alliances necessary to make this effective. Thank you. I move.
Dave, that was more than 4 words. But that's fine. That's fine. Seconder, please, for 255.
Madam President, Congress, Bruce Wilmot, London Region, seconding motion 255. Higher education in the UK faces a crisis. The introduction of tuition fees has effectively privatised our universities, transforming education from a right into a commodity. GMB policy is clear. We oppose tuition fees. Education should be accessible to all based on ability, not wealth. The current Labour government must restore grant funding for students and universities, forgive the student debt book, and remove the restrictions on international students bringing their families, and abolish the health service surcharge that deters the brightest minds from choosing the UK. We recognise the political challenges. Previous Labour administrations played a role in the commodification of our education, but our movement has never shied away from the difficult fights. What we propose is a new vision for higher education, truly meritocratic, providing equal opportunities and challenging the market ideology that dominates the sector today. Working with other education unions, we must develop a practical blueprint for radical change that recaptures the vision of education as the engine of social mobility and national advancement. Congress, the fight for free, accessible education is about equality, opportunity and justice, fundamental values of a union. I second the motion.
Thank you, Bruce. Any delegate wish to speak in opposition to any of these motions? Then can I ask Dawn to come and give the CEC response, please?
President, Congress. Dawn Lovett responding on behalf of CEC to motions 242 and 255. On motion 242, the CEC supports the motion with qualification. We support the motion's focus on inclusive, intersectional feminism which respects all women and demands human rights for people of all genders. Our qualification is that capacity for training for all members is limited, but rep training will continue to include vital equality content. On motion 255, the C is asking for this motion to be referred. As the motion states, higher education is in crisis and has become market orientated to the extent that the ability to pay is now the determining factor in the sector. A direct consequence of watering down commitments to the meritocratic principle, free tuition and reductions in student grants in the 1980s and 1990s, and then the accelerated the commodification of education and of HE in particular since the turn of the century. Within this context, it is difficult to see that the current Labour government being persuaded to reverse long-standing policy. Furthermore, free higher education for all is a difficult, if not impossible, ask. A better approach for higher education policy is one based on meritocratic principle and seeks to provide equal opportunities for all, capable of breaking down the class and economic privileges that are endemic in the sector, that challenges the dogma of marketisation and the highly ideological nature of what passes for higher education. What GMB, together with the other higher education unions, needs to do is to advance its own practical and costed blueprint for radical change in advance. Therefore, the C is asking Congress to support motion 242 with the qualification I have set out, and for London Region to agree to refer motion 255. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Does GMB Scotland accept the qualification on 242? Thank you. And I did hear it in your speech, Dave, but I need to confirm, the London Region agreed to refer? Thank you. So I'll put those to the vote. All those in favour of motion 240, please show. Thank you. Anyone against? That's carried. And all those in favour of motion 242, please show. Thank you. Anyone against? That's also carried. Congress, I am now proud to introduce the 2025 GRASP presentation. They will join us on stage after their banner procession, led by Alison Simon, Chair of the GRASP Ambassadors.
If the rebel in me can touch the rebel in you, and the rebel in you can touch a rebel in me, and the rebels we be is gonna set us free, then it will bring out the rebel, bring out.
Ambassadors, and I'm proud to be here today with GRASP Cohort 2. Today, I'm speaking in the absence of our National Race Officer, Taimba Nosokere. It is my honour to officially welcome the newest additions to our team of the race ambassadors. Simeon, Ash, Lisa, Stella, Jacqueline, Charmaine, Izzy. Unfortunately, Shabir and Sid could not be here with us today, but they are here in spirit. We are growing in numbers, and with that growth, we are becoming stronger, and a more unified force within the GMB. Together, we are building a movement that reflects the true diversity of our union and the workplaces we represent. As some of you may know, I come from an education background, and I'm deeply passionate about learning in all the stages of life. I'm a firm believer of our motto, grasp. Opportunities once grasped, forever held. For those of you who are thinking, what's she on about? Grasp, what's that? No, keep hearing this grasp. GRASP stands for the GMB Race Achievement Scholarship Programme. It's a leadership development programme created specifically for members of the ethnically diverse backgrounds. It provides the tools, support, and confidence needed to lead, influence, and thrive within both the GMB and beyond. Congress, we must remember, equity and justice must live at the heart of every workplace, including our own union. As a union, we must practice what we preach. We must lead by example and ensure that employers follow our lead when it comes to challenging inequality and racism within the workplace. This year's cohort represents every GMB region and a wide range of industries. Like any parent knows, every child is unique. Even when raised in the same home, in the same way, each GRASP participant brings their own strengths, perspectives, and lived experiences. And just like a parent guides and nurtures each child, we will continue to support every member of this cohort in their own individual journey. Congress. I now introduce to you Race Ambassador Simeon.
Madam President, the General Secretary, the Regional Secretaries here present, Congress, great members of our great union GMB, ladies and gentlemen, visitors and guests here tonight. It is a profound honor to stand before you here as Cohort 2 ambassadors, celebrating the completion of 6-month GMB Race Achievement Scholarship Program, GRASP. This journey has been an intensive exploration of history, strategy, and skills focused on embedding diversity, equality, inclusion of the global majority across our union's management, organization, recruitment, and members' support, in line with Dr. Henry's report. We salute Comrade Tai Nusakire, Kerry, Tanjit, and every member of the race network, and all the leaders and mentors who had one time or the other come to be part of this Grace Cohort 2, giving us knowledge and leading us through what is necessary for us to grasp for the GMB. We are resilient in designing a comprehensive program that has challenged and equipped us. We also thank the National Office team for going above and beyond to ensure we were armed with knowledge and skills that truly stands out today. When we began, some of us had no lay leadership roles. Today, as active reps, branch officers, or oath regional positions, many have secured promotions or new roles, including within GMB, thanks to the confidence and skills GRAB has given us. You will see that in majority of our ladies here who are first-time delegates and have delivered their motions in the most respectful and successful ways. As you may have seen, the performance of some of our members today in this Congress. As ambassadors, we bring fresh insight and energy to build and strengthen our union. We deeply appreciate GMB's investments in us and pledge to be visible, tangible agents of change in all areas of our union work. Looking ahead to Cohort 3 and building on Cohort 1's policies and strategies across all 7 regions, we commit to collaboration and continuity of this great project. We appreciate, and once more, thanks to the GMB for being a union for everyone and for leading on inclusion, not just in words, but through bold actions. Together, let us harness GRAB's learning to make work better for our members, our communities, and our union, and the future of the world. GRABs, a luta continua.
Thank you very much, Simeon. We're just going to do a quick presentation for all the graspers for completing their scholarship program, and we're very proud of all of them. So I'd like to call up Race Ambassador Simeon, please. Race Ambassador Ash. Race Ambassador Lisa. Race Ambassador Stella. Race Ambassador Jacqueline. Race Ambassador Izzy. I think I've read them. Race Ambassador Charmaine. And again, we won't forget Race Ambassador Shabir and Race Ambassador Sid. I would like to thank Ty and all those involved with the logistics and organisation of GRAS Cohort 2. I would also like to thank the GMB for continuing to support the GRAS programme and may it continue. Thank you, everyone.
Congress, we can now give you the results of the President and Vice President election. Thank you all for casting your votes and to all the candidates for their excellent addresses this morning. I will now ask Kevin Fox, the GME member, to come to the rostrum to announce the results. Good luck, Flower.
Honorary Co-Chair, Congress, Kevin Fox, GMB, Member Auditor. I'm reporting the result of the elections for the two elections held today for National President and Vice President. Dealing first with the election for National President, we had 386 ballot papers distributed to Congress delegates and members of the CEC in attendance who are entitled to vote. Voting closed at 3:30 p.m. Votes have been counted by myself and Jane Davies, General Member Auditor, the Secretary to the General Members Auditors and the Executive Officer. I can tell you that 386 ballot papers were returned, 0 ballot papers were spoiled or invalid, therefore all 386 ballot papers were valid. The results is as follows. Gordon Gibbs, 90 votes. Barbara Plant, 296 votes. I therefore declare Barbara Plant duly elected as National President. Dealing secondly with the National Vice President election, 386 ballot papers were distributed to Congress delegates and members of the CEC in attendance who were entitled to vote. Voting closed at 3:30 p.m. The votes have been counted by myself and Jane Davies, General Member Auditor, Secretary of the General Members Auditors and the Executive Officer. I can tell you that 386 ballot papers were returned, 0 ballot papers were spoiled or invalid, therefore 386 ballot papers were valid. The results are as follows. Tracy Ashton, 32 votes. Kevin Buchanan, 69 votes. Sonia Davis, 134 votes. Dave Douglas, 118 votes. And Kevin Jones, 33 votes. I therefore declare Sonia Davis duly elected as National Vice President. I'd like to congratulate both of you on your elections. Thank you.
Colleagues, if either of the winners would like to say a word of thanks, please come to the rostrum.
Yeah, you go first. First of all, can I just say thank you to all the candidates that took part in the election this morning. I thought all your speeches were excellent and really heartfelt. And I just think it shows what great people we've got in this union and you've got on your Central Executive Council. And Gordon, thank you, because I think it shows that our union is a democracy, and that's really important. And Sonia, well done. Well done. I'm going to miss Malcolm. Malcolm, I'm going to miss you as Vice President. But Sonia, I look forward to working with you. And look, to Southern Region. And just to everybody in this hall, thank you. Thank you for giving me the confidence to be, your confidence to be elected back as National President. As I said this morning, it is a real honour, it's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be your National President. And you just keep inviting me to your regions and to your nations, because that's what I love best, coming to visit you in your workplaces. I've spent all my life in education, and it's always an eye-opener to come into a factory or a shipyard or a nuclear power plant. So I look forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to Blackpool, because I've never been. So I'm looking forward to going to Blackpool next year and chairing Congress then. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow. I didn't really expect this, so... Thank you, everyone. Standing before you as the newly elected National Vice President of GMB, it's an immense honour, one that I really don't take lightly. First and foremost, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the members who have put their trust in me. I really appreciate it. I've just got no words. Your belief in me is both humbling, empowering. To the London and Southern region, I've got to give you a big thank you from the utmost of my heart, because you were supporting me from the onset. So I've got to give the biggest thank you to you, and to all those other regions and everyone else that went and put their cross against my name. I really, really appreciate it. Today, we celebrate not just an election victory, but a triumph over barriers. Sorry, I'm just overwhelmed. All right, sorry. A triumph over barriers that once seemed unbreakable. That phrase, smashing glass ceilings, is not just about personal success. It's about paving the way for those who come after us. We are rewriting the narrative, proving that determination, resilience, and collective strength can shatter limitations. This role is not just a title, it's a responsibility to uplift voices, fight for fairness, and ensure that our union continues to protect and empower all members. I pledge to stand firm in that commitment to listen, to lead, and to be a relentless advocate for working people. We are stronger together, and together we will continue breaking barriers, demanding justice, and shaping the future that reflects the strength and diversity of our workforce. Thank you all once again. I want to say thank you to Dave Trigger. Your speech was awesome, and I knew, I felt it was going to be you, so when I heard I got more votes than you, I just couldn't believe it, so thank you, and thank you to everyone. I look forward to working with you, Barbara, I really do, and as I said to you, Malcolm, thank you for the dedication, all the work that you've done. Onwards and upwards, everyone, thank you.
Colleagues, I'll now close conference and wish to see you all at 9 o'clock, all bushy and ready. Thank you. Have a good evening.